Thank you for sending in your requests. We're not in the office right now. And your customers will be left with a blah feeling because they're not getting the attention that they want. Although, maybe with these glasses on, I would be able to buy a dream vacation to Greece for every dollar I'd get each time somebody comes to me and says, we don't collect feedback yet. We're not ready. That's it. It's broken. It's useless. 7 mistakes people make when setting up Zendesk. This is how you avoid them. It's easy to get trapped in thinking like, oh my God, this is a system that is so easy to set up. It's so user-friendly. Let me just throw out the window the user manual because I don't need it. I've seen software before. And while some of you succeed, pat yourselves on the back, most don't. But you don't have to feel guilty. Over 95% of people don't get it right, and it's not your fault. This is such a big-ass domain, and it's such a big-ass software, and I'm here to help. I have 12 years of experience of being a Zendesk consultant. I'm in my 12th year. I've been in customer experience for over 15 years. I don't do anything else. This is my work. So before we begin the 7 reasons, I'm going to tell you the reason, okay? And then I'll tell you the mistake. Then I'll tell you the nightmare scenario, and then I'll give you the fix. All right, on with it. First mistake is forgetting to set up business hours. You just don't set any schedules. Now, Zendesk will assume that you offer 27 supports. And from your perspective, you think that, hey, I've already communicated this information to my customers. Somewhere in an obscure part of my website, I did write my office hours and they should look it up and it's there and it's public. Or you've written them in your terms and conditions somewhere in an even more obscure part of your website. So nobody reads that stuff. Nobody has time. So you can't get people to pay attention to these kinds of things. They have their own lives, then they're doing their own thing. Now, the nightmare scenario, well, your service level agreements, your SLAs will break overnight because people just assume that you offer 24/7 support because they just go on your website, they see your widget, or they see an email, or they see your phone, and they just call, they type their rights, and they expect service. I mean, some people are night owls, and who are you to judge? Your agents will seem slow, they will seem sloppy or lazy, and your customers will be left with a blah feeling because they're not getting the attention that they want. Okay, so now we're getting to the fix. The fix is to obviously set up business hours in the schedule part of your Zendesk. So you go to Admin Center and you search for schedules and you set up business hours and you set up your vacation times whenever you're not in the office. You then set up your SLAs, your service level agreements, to tie in with these schedule hours, with these business hours. Then as a third step, you create a trigger for out of office hours and you let them know like, hey, we're not in the office right now. We're in the office from 9 to 5, 9 to 7. Whenever it is, you just tell people transparently when you're in and when you're out. Mistake number 2, trigger chaos. Too many conflicting business rules. The mistake is obvious. You create a pile of triggers without any strategy. You assume that you can create these without any issues, without any boundaries, and nothing will happen. The nightmare scenario? I'm glad you asked. Triggers start to collide with one another, and while one solves a ticket, another one reopens it because they just have conflicting rules. If a trigger has this tag, then solve it. And then another one is when a trigger has this tag, put it to open status and assign it to the marketing team. Or another nightmare is you send duplicate conflicting messages to your customers. Thank you for sending in your requests. We're not in the office right now. Somebody will deal with this ASAP. What is it? So the fix is to create stuff in an organized fashion. The first step in staying organized, you create some categories for these. And how you should think about categories, you should think about set triggers. So these triggers set properties to the ticket, like it sets tags, it sets the business hours, it sets contact reason, etc. Second category is assign. The reason why it's the second is because based on the properties you set earlier, you assign it to the correct team or the correct person to deal with this. And the third category is notification triggers. Now, based on the properties you set and who you assigned it to, you can set a notification to say to the customer, hey, thank you for sending the request. It's now with the billing team. And you set a separate notification to the billing team saying, hey, dear billing team, there's this ticket for you. Jump on it ASAP. Let's go. Now, these three categories are a must, and additional ones can be, for example, integrations like triggers that send information to other platforms. Another category can be AI triggers, so stuff that is strictly related to AI, etc. Now, these can vary, of course, depending on the niche you're in and what kind of business you're running and the structure that your team has and the structure of your organization. So now comes the creativity part, but please get the basics right. Number 3 mistake: over tagging everything. So the mistake is to add a tag for each ticket scenario. Not a good practice. The mistake is to assume that you will remember all of these and you will be able to manage them in an orderly fashion. You won't. And it's not because you can't. It's because it gets too messy, too fast, and because somebody probably did the same thing before you. Now, the nightmare is you have 200 plus tags that nobody knows what they are and nobody uses. And now reporting becomes a what? A nightmare. And quite frankly, useless. The fix? Well, you have a standard taxonomy. Did I say this right? Taxonomy? Taxonomy. Yeah, I don't know if you're from Texas, if you say it this way. If you're from some parts of Europe, you say it's taxonomy in French. I don't fucking know. Anyway, the point is to keep everything organized, and you have a naming convention that everybody respects. I know. It's hard to keep everybody in the loop or everybody synced with the same kind of taxonomy. But what you can do is restrict people's access to actually add tags on their own. Rather, only you add them as an admin or a business rule adds them. And you get to have control over which tag is being used where. And you have the same tag everywhere, and you're able to create good reports as a result. And not only that, but you can use these in business rules like triggers and automations, and you avoid having broken rules. You have a tag which somebody has a typo in, and you reference that tag in a business rule, and then everybody else uses a totally different tag for the same purpose. Like, for example, a ticket being billing, and then somebody writes bowling, and that's it. It's broken. It's useless. 4th mistake: ignoring your views. The mistake is leaving your agents with all unsolved tickets, and they should just pile up all of them in the same view and hope for the best. Pray to God, whoever that is for them, just cross their fingers and just hope they have a good day. Another mistake is you assume that if you create a view for each kind of ticket scenario, then that will keep everybody well organized. Well, also no. I mean, it is good for a manager potentially to keep an eye out on things and have a micro scenario for everything. That, in my personal view, rarely ever works. But let's assume you are very organized like that and you are able to keep track of hundreds of views, which you can now keep very neatly categorized in that extended view, like where you have the drop down. But again, too many is overdoing it and it's not lucrative. Also, if you are one of those people that like the nightmare scenario where you keep dozens of these views, not everybody's like that. Like, most people get intimidated by that and they don't work well in it. The nightmare scenario, well, agents waste a lot of time scrolling, and as I already pointed out, they get intimidated by this duplication of tickets, because sometimes in views you see the same tickets, just they have a different label, and you see the same ticket in 4 places. You get intimidated and it's like, I don't want to do this. And where it actually starts to get mushy and crappy, the important tickets that maybe belong to VIP people, they just get lost. And also your SLAs will be broken. So now, the fix. There are 3 views, which I've talked on this channel before, and I'll say it again. There are 3 basic views that will surface all the work that exists in Zendesk. Everything else that you create around these is just a duplication. Get these 3 in order, and after that, if you want to add something else, that's up to you. So you have my tickets. This is a view where I log in and I see my tickets. Like, as an agent, I log in, I just see everything that has been assigned to me that I need to work on. That's great. That's how I should begin my day. With my tickets, my most urgent ones that I have not responded or the customer has gotten back to me, that is something that I have to start out with. Next one is unassigned tickets. Now, and I finish my work with the first view, I go to unassigned tickets and I either assign to me or to the rest of the team. This is great. We're getting somewhere. Now, the third one is unsolved tickets in my groups or unsolved tickets in my department. If I'm a member of 2 departments or 3 departments, I will be able to see tickets that are unsolved. Now, if I am done with the first 2 views and I've been very diligent, I can go to the third one and start helping out my team, lending out a hand. Very nice of me. Additional views that you can create, you can go creative from here on, and these are optional. So you can have high priority tickets or VIP tickets. These are all views. And now comes the granular part where you as a CSM or a CX person get to keep an eye out on, for example, high touch customers or negative customer satisfaction, or you start going really deep in creating views for processes or for types of requests. Again, this is different from niche to niche, business to business, so you have at it, boo-boo. Mistake number 5. No macros for common replies. Macros in Zendesk are templates which are meant to speed up productivity. If I do something more than twice, then create a template for it, or a macro in Zendesk. The mistake is to assume that people will write the same warranty or refund answer 50 times and not get bored. No. That's not a good thing. You're mistaken. So the nightmare scenario in this case is an inconsistent tone, a lot of wasted time, and the last but not least, and the worst one of all, is frustrated agents. Nobody likes boring work, so take that off of people's plate. The fix is to obviously build a list of at least 10 macros for your agents to use. Train them on how to use them. It's very easy, it's very light, and also allow people to create personal macros so they can create templates for themselves, right? If you are an agent and you are watching this, if you do something more than twice, just create a personal macro for it. Just keep it there. Just leave it hanging. You can get inspired by it later on if you don't use it. By the way, there is a macro list for 3 types of industries that I will leave in the description of this video. You can get those for free. And these are the most common ones. You just modify them a little bit and then you upload them to your environment. And then you have some macros to start out with. Mistake number 6, not setting up CSAT or ignoring feedback. I would be able to buy a dream vacation to Greece for every dollar I'd get each time somebody comes to me and says, we don't collect feedback yet, we're not ready. A mistake is obvious. You skip customer satisfaction setup. You assume that you have too many edge cases and people's opinion shouldn't be necessarily bogging you down right now because you have more important issues. Well, guess what? There aren't that many important issues. These are the issues. This is how successful companies actually become more successful or they get out of a slump, by fixing these things. Not the CSAT, because that's just a few clicks of a button and a setup from our end or from your end if you watch some of my previous videos. By the way, I'll show the video here of how to set up customer satisfaction in Zendesk. The nightmare is you have no clue if your customers are happy or not until they churn and they go to the competition because they can just get better service. I don't imagine a worse scenario for somebody who is a business owner than to have churn, to have decreased revenue. That is terrible. I'm getting chills just by thinking about it because I am also a business owner. I run a customer experience agency. My name is Dominic and I've been doing this for a while, and the only thing that actually works in keeping our business alive and rising every year, bit by bit, steadily growing, but it's customer satisfaction or customer experience. I don't know how to get too many new people to start working with us, but the ones that do end up working with us, they come back or they reference us to their friends and they give us a testimonial. Obviously not 100% of them because, I'm not perfection itself. Although maybe with these glasses on. Okay, so the fix, you enable the customer satisfaction. So it's not very difficult, but you know what is difficult in here is to actually take the accountability that you will listen to people. That's the hard part. Setting it up, walk in the park. So by enabling the customer satisfaction, you will be able to track trends. You will be able to see how people are engaging with your product and where they have a problem. You can track insights into where the cracks are in your business, and you can identify training opportunities and how to improve your processes and how to actually start having a consistent revenue. This is just everything just comes together. Mistake number 7, one big ol' ass dump group. Like, just call it customer support, or the one that Zendesk creates on your behalf when you open a Zendesk account, and you don't move away from that because we don't need it. The mistake is all tickets land into one group and all your agents have admin rights. Oh my god, you assume that that is enough, and it isn't. Now, the nightmare scenarios are various, and I'm just going to name a few. Nobody knows what to do, everybody does the same thing, thus duplicating work, sensitive tickets get seen by the wrong people, and there is no accountability, which results in frustrated customers, which go to the competition. Not great. Not a good experience, not for you, but especially not for your customer. The fix? Well, you define groups by function. And here I mean support, finance, onboarding, billing, delivery, etc. Don't go any more granular than that. Now you can go into the different, let's say, part of the cliff where you can fall off. In the past, because of Zendesk's restrictive functionality, I did used to recommend to go granular with groups because that meant you could have less views. Now Zendesk has since fixed that because they created a possibility to, have drop downs within views so you can have more visibility and you collapse everything together so it doesn't occupy too much of your space. But now it's just the right amount. You don't have too few, like a general one, a general group or department, and then you have too many. That's also not good because you have to create too many business rules in this case. So just a fair amount, like as many as you have in your company, you can now just have in Zendesk and it will work well. Also define agent permissions, like what are they able to see and what not, right? So you can go down the route of agents can see tickets within the groups that they are part of and nothing else, which is good. It's recommended. It's actually a best practice. Do that. So there you have it. These are the 7 mistakes to avoid in Zendesk to make sure that you have a smooth and oiled system to encourage people to come back and buy from you. So retention strategies, right? This is what it is about. If you have these things, if you mind them, you will encourage repetitive buys. You will give the attention that customers want whenever they want it from you. With avoiding these mistakes, you make sure that tickets land where they're supposed to. People are being set the right expectations. We're not in right now, but we'll be here tomorrow morning. And they get their replies in a fashionable manner. And customers get the resolutions they so desperately want so they can keep coming back and buy again from you. I hope you enjoyed this one. I will see you in the next one. Bye.